those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. I know you're wondering what Britney Spears has to do with anything that I've been covering lately, but there is actually a connection between Britney, Depp and Manson. Of course, the connection between Depp and Manson was made by Amber Heard's team during the court case. But put that aside for a second and just think about the connection between Britney and Depp. On face value, what do they have in common? They both catapulted their way to the top of Hollywood and turned everything that they touched into gold. The two lawyers involved in Depp's divorce case, Amber Heard's was Samantha Spector and Johnny Depp's was Laura Wasser. And it just so happens that Kanye West and Kim Kardashian also shared those same two lawyers, with Samantha Spector representing Kanye and Laura Wasser representing Kim Kardashian. And as we now know, the Kardashians were behind a very big push to try and get Kanye West into a conservatorship. Now, to understand the correlation between the cases, we have to dig into the ecosystem of a conservatorship. And that entire ecosystem largely includes the media. And it's probably not going to surprise anybody to find out that TMZ has been behind nearly every single conservatorship that I've looked into. Many, if not nearly all, media reporting on a singer or an actor running off the rails will all be quoting TMZ. Of course, it evolves and takes on a life of its own, as gossip usually does, but generally it's TMZ who starts these things. And in the case of Johnny Depp, it was TMZ who went after him first. And the way the media convinces us that a female is losing the plot is slightly different to the way that they will try to convince us that a man is losing the plot. But the general method is convince the world that this actor or singer is abusing drugs or alcohol, and bam, they're in a conservatorship. So, all you need is the common element. You need a parent or a partner to make some kind of allegations, sell a picture or a video to TMZ, and then the money-grabbing system will do the rest for them. So we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive just in this one episode on 3 other conservatorships, and just have a look at the patterns and who are all the common people involved in those conservatorships. And hopefully leave you with the question, was Amber Heard trying to get Johnny into a conservatorship?
It's Britney, bitch.
This defense attorney, Sean Hawley.
Oh yeah, her resume is
broker.
endless. Along with the Kardashians, Hawley has represented Kanye West, Justin Bieber, Lindsay Lohan. Just, name dropping a few of the kind.
And her very public career started back with O.J. Simpson.
I know you commented for a piece in the New York Times about TMZ, but I actually wanted to ask you, as an attorney, if it's almost required at this point that you have some sort of relationship with a website like TMZ?
Yes, I mean, you have to, I think, have some relationships in the media to make sure that your side is getting out there, or at least that the other side is not the only side. Or
my question was about also about TMZ specifically.
Yeah.
I mean, is it because that isn't a website that covers celebrities in trouble, built on the Gibson scandal, so that's how they make their money. Do you have to sort of get there first?
Yes.
Well,
Sometimes.
it shows you what happens when you throw enough money around.
Is that right?
Yes, well, no, I mean, I know they don't pay for stories, they just pay for photographs.
If you've been following my Marilyn Manson series, then you may be familiar with the name Sean Hawley, because she is none other than Rachel Wood's attorney.
Hi, welcome to BJ Investigates. So the first thing on my notes is Lindsay might need a conservatorship. So there's like a slew of stories in the tabloid media between 2009 and 2011 constantly talking about Lindsay Lohan needing a conservatorship. Now during this time, a few characters were involved. Lou Taylor, Dina Lohan. They were like out and about shopping for flowers and stuff together. Like Lou Taylor is sending out cease and desist still to this day right now. And not only do we see that in pictures, but we also saw Michael Lohan actually calling out Lou Taylor.
And I want to make one thing clear so you all know this. When Lindsay was supposed to go into Morningstar Rehab, they started to reconstruct everything there for Lindsay to accommodate her. Sean Chapman Holly, Sean and Lou Taylor leaked that to the press because they wanted Lindsay to get out sooner and have her in UCLA so she wouldn't spend much time in a rehab. They're destroying my daughter's life.
It was much tougher on Lindsay than it was on us, although I'm her dad, and I'm sure Dina feels the same as I do. I've been there before, so there's nothing like sitting in that position before a judge and him saying that you're getting jail time. I've never heard that before, to be quite honest. Usually they weigh out the evidence, they hear both sides of the case before they say you're getting jail. So I'm a little bit confused by that.
So he's constantly still talking about Lou Taylor. So you might think, oh, that makes Michael Lohan the good guy or a good guy, but girl, I found some stuff on him too. So another character that I think we should probably look into more is Sean Chapman Holly. During all of this, tumultuous period, Lindsay Lohan's like going to jail. She's on probation. She's all kinds of things. She ain't showing up for the probation. I don't even know. She thinks she lives in Dubai now. But during all of this, Sean Chapman Holly was Lindsay Lohan's lawyer, and Michael Lohan blamed Sean Chapman Holly for being one of the people trying to put Lindsay in a conservatorship. Now, as we know today, she never got put into a conservatorship. I don't believe she ever needed one. I don't believe Britney needed one. I don't believe Bam needed one. I don't believe Wendy needs one. So in this article that I found, they named 2 doctors that actually worked on Britney's conservatorship. The first one I had heard of before, Stephen Marmer. The second one, his name is Robert Builder, which I remembered because it was like Bob the Builder. And they are both affiliated and associated with UCLA in the schizophrenia department or the geriatric dementia department. So it really gives you insight into what exactly these people constantly try to do to the celebrities to make it look like they have certain ailments, illnesses, diagnoses. And look, to be fair, to be very clear, even if someone has a diagnosis of schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, or dementia, that alone is not legal grounds for a conservatorship. Can you imagine if it was? I mean, that would be absolutely out of control. So then I'm doing this like Bam Margera research and it ends up bringing Michael Lohan back into full circle. It's from April 2016. And in here it mentions Michael Lohan as the person helping him get sober. That was in 2016. Fast forward to 2021, and now Michael Lohan has been arrested in the state of Florida as of literally last year for patient brokering. Patient brokering is a crime in the state of Florida, but people do it. If you get any type of financial kickback or a payment for placing someone into a rehab that you have a relationship with, that is illegal. So that is what Michael Lohan is accused of doing. So it's very, very interesting to me that 6 years ago, Michael Lohan was the person who was helping Bam get sober. I know this video is about Lindsay Lohan, but this is Lindsay Lohan's dad. Did he maybe see all the money involved in the rehabs and turn from a good guy to a bad guy? Was he maybe always a bad guy? I don't know, but I definitely know he is opposed to Lou Taylor. So I guess I want to like him, but he also got arrested for patient brokering. Now, you are innocent until proven guilty. I have not followed his case. I don't know what's going on with that case, but it was very telling to me that Michael Lohan was the one who was supposed to be helping Bam Margera get sober in 2016. Like, it seems like everybody's just surrounding these celebrities to try to make money off of them.
Lindsay Lohan is going to be getting out of rehab in a few weeks, and the troubled starlet is due to complete her latest rehab at the Betty Ford Clinic in early August.
And she's reportedly coming back to New York when she's done. Her dad, Michael Lohan, visited Lindsay at Betty Ford just a few weeks ago and is visiting with us today. So it's great to have you here. How's Lindsay?
Better than ever.
Were you surprised?
I mean, truly better than I've seen her in 8 years.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think the difference is this time?
Well, you know what? Although I was kind of opposed to Betty Ford's treatment program for a number of reasons, they did detox her and get her off the Adderall, and she stopped the drinking, and it stabilized her. But now that she's at Cliffside, I can't thank them enough because they've given her a lot of the one-on-one therapy, the trauma therapy that she needed to resolve the differences, which most treatment centers don't do.
It's always about the name, I think. Like, it's not even really about like what's in the bank account right now. It's about what they can make off of the Brittany the brand, Lindsay the brand. I mean, we watched Freaky Friday just last night. Somebody got paid for that. In November, Lindsay calls her dad a lunatic, and that's when the first reports of Lindsay getting put into a conservatorship begin. Also in November, Michael Lohan told X17 that month that he was seeking conservatorship in order to get Lindsay into rehab for prescription drug abuse. So both Lindsay's parents sought conservatorships. Yes. No, it is an X17 article. I have it here. So the next year, 2010, MTV, of course, MTV says, quote, would Lindsay benefit from a conservatorship? And that article does mention Lou Taylor. Then, the craziest thing, the LAPD wanted to put Lindsay Lohan in a conservatorship. Cops decided against it because she didn't meet all the criteria for a 5150. They felt she could still take care of herself, though feebly. That was in 2010. Then August 2010, she does get locked up in UCLA Medical Center, the Resnick Psychiatric Hospital, and it says, quote, a professional who is extremely close to Lindsay, who could that be? A professional who's extremely close to Lindsay, not a family member, a professional. The Spears family spokesperson might be the same person as the professional who's extremely close to Lindsay. It might be. It might. And this is what the professional confided. If she doesn't get help soon, she's going to die. Does that sound familiar, girl? Bam Margera, Amanda Bynes, Britney Spears, Wendy Williams, who else? They're gonna die, they're gonna die. I mean, at this point, I'm almost ready to just let people die. So the LAPD wanted to put Lindsay in a conservatorship, but they determined she didn't meet all the requirements for a 5150 because she could take care of herself. Then the professional, extremely close to Lindsay, confided in TMZ. Just imagine that sentence, confided in TMZ. Girl, we are not talking about Michael or Dina Lohan. These are people who have quietly been trying to convince Lindsay to go to rehab again. Who could it be? Who could it be? Maybe a Christian rehab in Tennessee or something like that, maybe? I don't know. I wasn't there, girl. I was not there. So that was 2010. Then 2012, it's reported again, Michael Lohan wants a conservatorship. And then again in 2016, they're mentioning a conservatorship for Lindsay again. And so, you know, I am the conservatorship whisperer across Hollywood. If a conservatorship is going on, I'm going to hear about it. So I believe this is and has always been for the last 10 to 15 years, the plan to start making the general public more comfortable with the concept and the idea of a conservatorship. We have bills coming in through Congress, the FREE Act, which would grant states money based on the number of conservatorships in the state. So not just like, okay, you know, Rhode Island, you're a small state. Texas, you're a big state. We're going to allocate more money to Texas because there's possibly more. No. They're literally saying in this FREE Act, however many conservatorships you have, that's how much money we're going to give to you. So there are legal incentives to put your own people into conservatorships. So the only problem you could possibly face is the public pushback. What would the public pushback be if every famous person we know, Lindsay Lohan, Kanye West, Britney Spears, Wendy Williams, Sam Williams, Bam Margera, has all been in these conservatorships? It's normalizing it for us so that when it happens to your neighbor, it's like, oh yeah, I guess he needs that. And when it happens to your boss, it's like, oh, that guy, I hate him anyway. And when it happens to your mom, you're like, oh wait, I can't see my mom, and then she's dead. So that's where we're headed, and that's just my belief. I mean, I don't know if Michael Lohan is a good person, a bad person, or if he's just an opportunist, but according to the tabloids, he also attempted to put Lindsay into a conservatorship. So it makes his like railing against Lou Taylor's conservatorship a little less convincing to me because it seems more like a play for control and power than true freedom and autonomy. So Lindsay was surrounding herself with all the wrong people. I don't know if she knew that, but definitely in retrospect, in hindsight, she was surrounding herself with all the wrong people. We're talking about even her own dad, Michael Lohan, who has been arrested now for patient brokering. That's literally using someone's addiction for his own financial gain. Not only Michael Lohan, Lou Taylor, Dina Lohan, who clearly doesn't seem to ever have had her own daughter's interest in mind.
It's Britney, bitch.
They put you, they handcuff you, they drug you, they put you on the bed. And they separate you from everyone you know.
West was being treated for sleep deprivation when his doctor reportedly called 911 saying he was psychotic.
I think he definitely is going to need to be hospitalized, so I wouldn't go through the police by itself.
Don't scare me, please. What's going on?
I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies.
Never go against the family.
While Kanye was locked up against his will in UCLA Medical Center in 2016, that's whenever he made a plan to start a church in Calabasas. And now we're in 2020 and we know that he has Sunday service and it goes on all over the place, but mostly does happen, you know, in California, I think. So he made the plan while he was in the hospital to start a church. And it just speaks to me and Jake's little unofficial theory. You have three options. Be rich enough where nobody messes with you, be under the control of a church, or be under the control of something else with force of the state. Those are your options. And while Kanye was number 3, he decided maybe I should do number 2, which would be start a church. I'm not gonna join a church, but start a church.
Kanye has he started a church, or what's going on? Because I see that there's a church now that he's going to.
Yeah, we didn't really have a name for it because it's more of just a healing experience. It was something that
It looks
Kanye,
like fun based on the videos that I've seen.
It is. It's so just like emotional. The music is so, it really is this healing experience for anyone that just is.
You all go to this?
It's really uplifting and you feel excellent. We have so many friends that maybe feel a little too judgmental when they go to church or something like that. When they come here, they feel so free and safe is what everybody says, and you have a great time. It's a beautiful way to start your week, and you feel just love
a
and
musical
happy.
Experience that is pretty moving.
Do you pray to Kanye or to God at this church?
Then in August 2016, Chris betrays Kanye by going behind his back to negotiate a deal with Adidas before signing Kylie to Puma. So that was a big issue because Kanye liked Kylie's style. He liked her and wanted her to be a model or be an ambassador for Yeezy. But Chris went to Adidas behind Kanye's back, who is what the Yeezy contract is through Adidas. So Chris circumvented Kanye and went straight to Adidas and then later signed a deal with Puma. But Kanye was pissed about that. 2016 is the year that Kanye West was put into an involuntary psychiatric hold, exactly like the one that Britney was put into, called a 5150 hold. And 2016 is also the year that Kanye West started acting like he was Donald Trump's friend. Y'all remember all of that? But guess who went with Kanye West to New York City on a trip to discuss multicultural issues with Donald Trump? Corey Handler Gamble. 2014 is when Chris actually meets Corey Gamble. How did Chris meet Corey? Kanye West threw a party, invited Corey Gamble, who works for Scooter Braun, and who was also Justin Bieber's tour manager. Corey Gamble, Chris's sugar baby, is Justin Bieber's former tour manager. And it just raised the question in my mind, was Corey put into the Kardashians' circle for the purpose of keeping tabs on Kanye? Because he is one of these type of artists that you cannot control.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
So West and Gamble's trip to the East Coast came just 2 weeks after the rapper suffered a psychotic emergency, is what they call it, which I don't believe it was, which led to a hospitalization, a forced incarceration in a medical facility, is what we're going to call it on this channel, at UCLA Medical Center, where he was treated for sleep deprivation and exhaustion.
We now have obtained a copy of the 911 tape that set all of this in motion.
This was the call that his doctor made back last Monday.
I'm actually one of his doctors. I'm just calling for my cell phone to request if we can have some police backup because I don't think the paramedics, you know, you can bring both. Yes, I think he's definitely going to need to be hospitalized, so I wouldn't just do the police by itself. You can just keep an eye on him, you know, just try to obviously here with don't let him get any weapons or anything like that. If anything changes, if he does become physically combative between now and when the police and or paramedics get their calls back immediately, 911. Will do. Thank you so much.
I got to tell you something. I was told early on here that the doctor was actually there when he placed the call.
You can tell at a point in the conversation he is at the house. He does make it to the house.
Well, right now, Kanye West is under observation at this hospital. Behind me, a source telling us he is suffering from exhaustion and sleep deprivation, and that he checked himself in voluntarily.
The call came in at 1:20 p.m. Medical emergency at a West Hollywood address. Earlier, the Heartless Singers team had cancelled all remaining dates of West's St. Pablo tour. Last night, West's wife, Kim Kardashian, was supposed to make her first public appearance since she was held at gunpoint and robbed in Paris last month.
Then the next few months later, I did a fashion show, and it started 45 minutes late. And the media, they just killed me. Then, less than a week after that, my wife is robbed in Paris.
Again, not addiction, not delusions of grandeur, not inability to take care of himself, not danger to himself. Treated for sleep deprivation and exhaustion. He was in the middle of a tour. He went to his personal physician, like at his house, I believe, to get checked out. And much like Amanda Bynes, was tricked. And they called the police, and the ambulance showed up and put him in against his will. He was handcuffed and he was drugged, and he said that himself on David Letterman's show, My Next Guest or whatever.
There's a moment that I have to talk about publicly that has to be changed. So I'm going to talk about this publicly so this moment can change. So when you're in this state, you're hyper paranoid about everything. Everyone, this is my experience. Some people have other experiences. You feel everyone wants to kill you. You pretty much don't trust anyone. And they have this moment where they put you, they handcuff you, they drug you, they put you on the bed, and they separate you from everyone you know. That's something that I am so happy that I experienced myself, so I can start by changing that moment. When you are in that state, you have to have someone you trust. It is cruel and primitive to do that. Here's another one that they love to do when you get the stigma of crazy. They love to write you off.
And when you tell people that, and when I tell them the way I feel, it's like they hear me, but they're really not listening. They're hearing what they want to hear. They're not really listening to what I'm telling them.
What you say doesn't mean as much. Sometimes for me, I think it's a form of protection for me.
It's like you can't really go there in a complete state of happiness because you're scared that it's going to be taken away, you know? So it's better just not to feel anything at all and to have hope than to feel the other way.
So in 2017, Kanye West writes this song, All Mine, in which he raps the following lyrics. Sometimes you gotta bag the boss up. I call that taking Corey Gambles. April 25th, 2018, Kanye fires Scooter Braun. But guess what? Scooter can still keep tabs if he really wants to because Corey is dating Kanye's mother-in-law. Isn't that convenient?
Scooter Braun was Kanye's manager?
Yes, until 2018. He was his main manager. Wouldn't anybody be exhausted and sleep deprived? This is ridiculous. They're taking away people's rights right in front of us and using these fancy words to try to make it seem like it's just fine.
Words that you've used in the book to describe her behavior over your lifetime was erratic, paranoid, spiraling.
It looks like Amanda Bynes may be a schizophrenic. She was currently on a 72-hour hold, a psychiatric hold. We also know that her parents are going to make a move to create a conservatorship.
So listen, he got put in an involuntary psychiatric hold. 2 weeks later, he's running to Donald Trump to talk about multicultural issues. Do you think it's possible he might have been thinking, perhaps the president of the United States will be able to help me if I get put into a conservatorship?
How many weeks?
2.
Oh.
2 weeks. This is Corey. He attended the rapper's music fashion show, Yeezy Season 3, with the Kardashian family at Madison Square Garden. More recently, he joined the family at West St. Pablo Tour in Inglewood, California. So just let's stop right there for a second. Corey Gamble, who has had a temporary restraining order put against him for stalking someone, is later just miraculously meets Kris Jenner at a party that Kanye West is hosting, and within months is on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and then follows Kanye all around, presumably keeping tabs on him. So then, April 2018, Kanye fires Scooter. September 2018, Kris goes on Laura Wasser's podcast, the lawyer who's Kim's divorce lawyer and also has represented Britney in her divorce. Kris says on Laura Wasser's podcast, I will never marry Corey. In 2019, per the Associated Press, Kanye allegedly sent Corey Gamble texts that questioned his motives. So Kanye is wising up to this stuff. Again, no matter what your feelings are on Kanye, you can't deny that they were kind of setting him up with the 2016 involuntary psychiatric hold and things like that. He sent texts to Corey Gamble, who was formerly like his buddy, that questioned his motives, a situation that played out on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Kanye was like, I think it's weird, like we've never met his family.
That's weird.
I mean, of course we've all felt that way and thought that, but for Kanye to just so bluntly say that to him, I feel like that was the wrong choice to make at that time.
You guys sit and talk to Kanye, and if you talk to Kanye, he's gonna put that up here and run with it.
I mean, it is weird. I'm not saying that
we're all different. How about you used to be weird? We all put up with each other.
At the time, Jenner didn't appreciate the meddling. I just wish I knew why Kanye has to bring bad energy into the field. Okay, then the same year in 2019, Cody bought Kylie Cosmetics, the 51%, the $600 million sale. And the purchase agreement was with a KMJ 2018 irrevocable trust, controlled by Kristen M. Jenner as the owning a profit interest in Kylie Cosmetics. So Kris Jenner actually owned a profit share of Kylie Cosmetics and got paid, not as just the business manager, not like, oh, she got paid because she was a manager. No. She was a partial owner of Kylie Cosmetics and got paid whenever Cody paid $600 million in cash to buy Kylie Cosmetics. And it's extra sketchy because Forbes and everybody else ended up coming back out and saying Kylie Cosmetics was never worth $1.1 billion, $1.2 billion. That was a lie from the beginning. And it's speculated that Lou Taylor is the one that helped them cook the books. She was the registered agent for service of process for Kylie Cosmetics when it sold half of itself. Lou Taylor's also under investigation for Prince's estate, so we'll just have to see how that goes. In May, People article about Kanye, Corey, and Khloe had a fight. So Khloe and Kanye ganged up on Corey Gamble, criticized him for being secretive. Corey explained, quote, "A person like me gets criticized for not talking about their business. I've been so secretive in a lot of significant people's lives, and I don't talk about it because it's not my place to talk about it." So were you in Britney's life? Whose life were you in? All I think about is that.
Me too.
I don't know why. She's not the only significant person.
Debatable.
I mean, there's me. He says blabbermouths f*** up their lives for themselves and others. So then October 30th, 2019, Kylie Jenner was grinding on Corey at a concert. So this is a Hollywood Life article that says Kris Jenner's feelings on Kylie Jenner and Corey Gamble dirty dancing at a concert revealed. So Kylie Jenner was like literally grinding on her like stepdaddy sugar baby situation. And then Kris comes out and addresses it, and she says, Corey was there to protect them. So again, is he a handler? Is he a Robin Greenhill? Or is he a boyfriend? Like, I mean, stepdads can go places to protect people. That's not unusual, but, and Kris says this in the Hollywood Life article. He has worked security in the past, so he has lots of experience. Little black box moment. He always helps out with the family in that way when we need him. He's a very generous guy. So is he security? Is he a sugar baby? Is he you're never gonna marry him, is what you told Laura Wasser. Why not? Why wouldn't you marry him? Is it because he's not really your boyfriend, Kris?
I'm sorry, but if he scratched me for no reason, I'm whipping her ass, and I'll explain to y'all later. What? I would whip her ass.
You would whoop Penelope's ass if she scratched you?
I would give her a spanking for sure.
He does whatever Kris needs, and people are reaching to make this into something it isn't. Then in March, Kim, Courtney, and Penelope attend Sunday service, Kanye, which is not unusual. That's fine. 2020, Kim and Kanye have been living separate lives since May. Kris has been tugging on her daughter's heartstrings to persuade her to do the right thing, which is to kick Kanye to the curb. He's outlived his usefulness, and it's time he was cut loose. Well, guess what he started doing just 2 months later? Talking about they flew to Wyoming to try to lock me up with 2 doctors. When Kris realized she couldn't control him, he had to get out of the family. July 2020, Kanye tweeted, "Kylie stinks." July 23rd, 2020, Kanye said, "I've always hated Kris Jenner." But apparently she was the one that helped to actually set them up, according to this research I did. November 2020, Corey's ex-girlfriend says that Corey targeted Kris Jenner because he is obsessed with power and money. So we had a little bit of a girlfriend exposed. We had a little 90-day fiance.
I hate you because you broke my heart.
Little Darcy and Stacey moment. Then you have January 6, 2021, an article reporting that Kris is the reason that Kanye and Kim's marriage is over. And Kris is the one who told Kim it's over. Kim's divorce lawyer from Kanye is Laura Wasser. And Laura Wasser is the podcast that Kris went on and said, "I'll never marry Corey Gamble." Kim used Laura Wasser for her divorce from Chris Humphries and is now using her for Kanye West. Before their wedding, Kim and Kanye did sign a prenup, which reportedly promised Kim would get $1 million for every year the couple was married, up to 10 years, and all gifts and jewelry.
For Christmas last year, he gave me a box and I opened it, and it was Mickey Mouse and Adidas socks and Apple headphones, and I thought, okay. And then he told me that he bought me major stock in all of those companies.
Kanye, what was the reaction?
She's like, okay.
Well, when I thought it was just Adidas socks and headphones, I was like, thanks.
Chris will have made sure Kim's 2 recent big paydays, which was the deal for the new TV show on Hulu, reportedly worth $75 million, and her deal with Cody. She also has a makeup deal with Cody for KKW Beauty, where they bought 20% of KKW Beauty. Same company, bought them. Cash sale for that one too. Also overvalued at $1 billion. So Chris made sure that Kim's 2 big paydays from the Hulu show and the Cody deal would not be included in any divorce settlement. So basically, Chris made sure that Kim could get money from Kanye, but not that Kanye could get money from Kim. July 30th, 2021, Corey Gamble wants Chris to raise his allowance. He works for Scooter Braun Management Company. So it's like, what is he doing other than dating Kris Jenner? And is his work with Kris Jenner somehow tied into his work for Scooter Braun? She said she's not going to marry him. So I have reason to believe just by that alone that she doesn't intend to make him her life partner. So what is this man? He used to work in security. He was grinding on his girlfriend's young daughter in public at a concert. He followed Kanye West to go visit Donald Trump 2 weeks after Kanye was medically incarcerated against his will in a 5150 psychiatric hold at UCLA Medical Center. Who is Corey Gamble even? Like, I have questions. And then my final bullet point, July 31st, 2021. Chris is the main reason Kim supported Kanye at his Donda listening party. So a lot of people were saying, well, she's not really going to divorce him because she's all showing up to his Donda release parties and stuff, whatever. Well, it comes out, according to the media, Kim did that because Kris Jenner made her do it. And I think Kris Jenner has been setting up the PR fight for the divorce and the custody and the money fight since 2019, really. Because if you look at it, Kim has done everything perfect as far as the media is concerned, and Kanye has not. The issue is, I think Kanye is a much more authentic person than Kim, and I think he just says what's on his mind. But I don't know what any of these people are saying behind the scenes, and it could all just be a big media thing, so who knows? But she might be trying to convert the whole world into Kris Jens, if you know what I mean.
It's Britney, bitch.
I do have a couple episodes on That Surprise Witness TV about Amanda Bynes, but today I wanted to get a little bit of a deeper dive into the timeline leading up to Amanda Bynes' conservatorship. So the first thing we're going to look at is going to be a timeline of Amanda's troubles by MTV.com. Okay, so following a promising career as a child star, Bynes' erratic behavior. Okay, so this is how many people have had erratic behavior. Britney has had erratic behavior according to MTV. Bam Margera has had erratic behavior according to MTV. Now Amanda Bynes has had erratic behavior according to MTV. And all those people are conservatees. Look at that. Would you even be able to put it together and imagine that MTV would be helping to spread the propaganda to put people into conservatorships whenever they stand to make money off of that person? Like, I don't know, the Jackass franchise, which it owns. So this article is from 2013. At this point, the potential pitfalls of childhood stardom, Dan Schneider, are legion in Hollywood. For every seemingly well-adjusted A-lister, did you read this? Oh my God, MTV, you are wrong for this. For every seemingly well-adjusted A-lister like Justin Timberlake, who literally assaulted a woman on stage in front of everyone and lied about the whole Britney Spears stuff. Yeah, well-adjusted, real well-adjusted. Or maybe it's just that his mother, Lynn Harless, always had a better reign on MTV and the media than these other people's parents. But I digress. Like Justin Timberlake or Dakota Fanning, there are just as many Drew Barrymores, Britney Spearses, and Michael Jacksons who struggle to make the transition from cute kid, global adoration to awkward teen and adult. The latest example is troubled actress Amanda Bynes. Why did you make me read this bullshit? I am upset now. Whose career began with commercial work at age 7 and took her through stage musicals and starring roles in the Nickelodeon shows Figure It Out, All That, and The Amanda Show in the mid and late 90s. But after a solid run in TV and films, What a Girl Wants, Robots, and Easy A, Bynes hit a rough patch that took her through citations for DUI, hit and run, marijuana possession, and last month, an involuntary psychiatric hold. Everybody knows about that one, 5150. Who's been in one of those? Britney, Bam, Kanye, Amanda, Lindsay, Steve-O, right? The list goes on. All these people have these MTV connections. Nickelodeon, Paramount, MTV, and VH1, and Viacom, and CBS are all owned by the same parent. The recent video that we just did moments ago, that I don't know when y'all are gonna see, on Dan Schneider, talked about his relationship with the now head of some big head honcho type of guy at CBS. So what myself and my team and Jake have started to realize is usually whenever there's an abuse of a celebrity, there is some network behind it who stands to make a lot of money off of the abuse. But that's just what we end up finding. And like, honestly, prove me wrong. I don't like living in a world where this is happening. So she's doing all these crimes, and then they put her in an involuntary psychiatric hold after she reportedly set fire on a stranger's driveway. As we await word on what is next for Bynes, again, this is an article from 2013, whose involuntary hold has been extended to 30 days, so that would be a 5250 hold. MTV News looks back at the rough patch that led up to the actress's latest legal entanglement. After changing up her until then family-friendly image and appearing in lingerie in Maxim magazine in February, Bynes announced in June 2010 that she was retiring from acting with the following quote, "I don't love acting anymore, so I've stopped doing it," she tweeted. Though she changed her mind a short time later and unretired, Bynes' vow to take some time off has lasted for 3 years. So then you have March 2012, which would be 2 years later from where we just read. Following a long radio silence broken by the occasional tweet, Bynes debuts her new light purple hairdo alongside a tweet of the MIA lyric, quote, "Live fast, die young, bad girls do it well." The next day, she drove away from the scene of a police stop after she was pulled over for talking on her phone while driving. So I don't know if she should have probably did that, but I wasn't there, and maybe we should request the body camera footage from that stop. Then April 2012, she was arrested on a misdemeanor charge of driving under the influence after getting into a minor fender bender. According to the LA County Sheriff's Department, she tried to pass a police car and then she rear-ended them. April 9th, 2012, her father, Rick, told People magazine that his daughter was not drunk and that she doesn't drink. He blamed her seemingly intoxicated behavior on her being upset and very emotional about being arrested. The next day, TMZ reported that Amanda smashed her rental car into another vehicle on an LA freeway and then fled the scene. Then the next month, May 2012, Amanda denied the DUI allegations on Twitter, writing, "I can't help but laugh at all of you writing fake stories about me. I was not in any hit and runs. I don't drink, so the DUI allegation is false." The next month, an attorney for Amanda entered a not guilty plea on her behalf, and Bynes tweeted out to President Barack Obama to help her with her legal troubles. "I don't drink. Please fire the cop who arrested me. I also don't hit and run." The end. And this seems like maybe a little unhinged, but if you actually look at what Kanye West did, he did the exact same thing. When Kanye West thought he was about to be put into a conservatorship, he made friends with Donald Trump. When Amanda thought clearly something was going on, she was being set up. She was attempting to reach out to the President of the United States to let them know that something was amiss. Seems unhinged. Unless it's happening to you, who would you call for help? Okay, so that was June, not guilty, and she tweets at Barack Obama. August 2012, a motorist reported that Bynes rear-ended her vehicle on Ventura Boulevard, stopped briefly, claimed there was no damage, and drove off. The woman claimed $800 in damage and that Bynes did not provide proof of insurance or wait for police to be called. Then the next month, September, TMZ posts images of Bynes smoking what looks like a marijuana pipe in her car before driving around aimlessly with a suspended license. Don't drink and drive, don't smoke and drive, but I think it's funny. Okay, after being ordered by a judge not to drive, she is stopped and cited for driving with a suspended license. Police impound her car and write a misdemeanor citation after observing her parking in a no parking zone and driving around aimlessly near the valet area. Bynes reportedly in September was kicked out of a Hollywood gym spinning class for wearing lingerie and acting erratically. Like, that's the thing. Like, she got kicked out of a class because she was wearing lingerie. What do people wear to the gym? Sports bras and booty shorts. Like, she was acting erratically. See, like, this is just such a propaganda piece. Such a propaganda piece. In November, she's threatened to sue In Touch magazine for a story alleging she walked around a New York tanning salon naked. "I'm not troubled," she said at the time. "I don't get naked in public. I'm 26, a multi-millionaire, retired. please respect my privacy.
Hey, Amanda, so can I ask you about your father, though? Your father shined his penis to you, though. Amanda,
My father should be put in jail for a very long time.
Amanda? Why? What happened?
In February, she posted the first of a slew of tweets in which she calls people ugly, starting with Jay-Z and later including Drake, Zac Efron, Jenny McCarthy, President Obama, and the First Lady, Miley Cyrus, Rihanna, Lance Bass agreed, and Courtney Love. A month later, she tweets that she wants Drizzy to murder her vagina. In April 2013, after a series of selfies in various wigs, Bynes reveals that she has an eating disorder and demands that magazines only use photos she has uploaded when writing about her, which seems reasonable. Other reports claim that she was kicked out of a gymnastics class after talking to herself and crying, and that she is photographed walking in public with appears to be a joint in her mouth. She also tweets pictures of her partially shaved head, tells followers she no longer speaks to her parents, and uploads images of her topless and just wearing a black bra. May 2013, she is arrested in New York after reportedly throwing a glass bong out of her apartment window and smoking marijuana in the building's lobby.
The search was made for the bong, nothing was recovered. My client completely denies ever having thrown anything out the window. She was followed illegally into her apartment for no reason. She has filed a complaint, I believe, with the Internal Affairs for inappropriate actions by the police department.
Bynes claims the bong was just a vase and denies that she was taken in for psychiatric evaluation, appearing in court looking disheveled in an ill-fitting blonde wig. They had to tell me it was ill-fitting. Bynes later threatens to sue the New York Police Department after claiming she was sexually harassed by the arresting officers, which I believe. After the arrest, she lashes out via Twitter at Rihanna for being not pretty enough. That's not true, Amanda. That's false. And she writes that she's allergic to marijuana and alcohol, is getting a nose job, prepping for a career as a rapper.
Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds on my fish, yeah, I'll wait.
And beefs ensue with Courtney Love and the New York Police Department, announcing that no evidence can be found to support Bynes' sexual harassment claims. Well, her claims are evidence. That's the issue, New York Police Department. When somebody makes a claim and says they'll sign under penalty of perjury, that is evidence. So there was evidence, at least some. So that was a lie when you said that you couldn't find evidence. So just tell the truth. Then July 2013, Amanda arrives in court for the bong tossing hearing, and she was wearing a blue tinged wig, reportedly videotaped a day later, walking with an odd gait down 58th Street in her platinum wig. July 22nd, 2013, Bynes is put in another involuntary 5150 psychiatric hold after reportedly starting a fire on a random stranger's driveway in Thousand Oaks, California, near her childhood home.
What is the address of your emergency?
Amanda Bynes making headlines once again, and now she's forced to undergo a mandatory mental health evaluation.
Dan, what's on fire?
It's like a small piece of cloth and it's the gasoline tank.
Witnesses say the former child star wearing a blonde wig set fire to this driveway in Southern California Monday night.
Yeah, I saw this girl laying down right here with her left pant leg on fire. When I look at her, I'm like, it's Amanda Bynes. She was like really frantic, like she wanted to get out of there. And she's like, my dog, has been burned.
He says Bynes tried hailing a cab to get away.
I was like, don't take her. I don't know what's going on with her at all. Like, do not let her in the car.
Deputies responded to the scene and talked to Bynes, but did not charge her with a crime.
They determined that she met the criteria of 5150 of the Welfare and Institutions Code.
So a 5150 is a psychiatric hold. It means that patients can be taken involuntarily from where they are and to be put in a setting where they're evaluated by specialists in a hospital. So psychiatrists and a multidisciplinary team will evaluate her.
Overnight, Bynes remained in the hospital on a mental health hold, where she can be observed for up to 72 hours. ABC News reached out to her attorney but was told no comment. The Hairspray actress has been in and out of court, sparking hair-raising headlines with her colorful wigs and bizarre behavior.
I think Amanda's been in the public eye so long that there's a twisted part of her that thinks this attention may be good.
Then August 2013, an LA judge agreed to extend Bynes' involuntary psychiatric hold to 30 days, and her parents are granted a temporary conservatorship, allowing them to take control of her affairs.
There's no reason why I shouldn't go to a therapist who takes my insurance for $5,000 less a month.
This is why I've asked to see the judge next week regarding this conservatorship issue. Thank you guys so much for hearing me out. I'm sorry that this is what I'm dealing with, and I'm sorry to put my problems onto the internet, but this is what life has come to.
As you know, a couple months ago, I actually went to the court hearing that terminated Amanda Bynes' conservatorship.
Amanda, please, your freedom awaits. After 9 years, a judge in Ventura County has terminated Amanda Bynes' conservatorship. The hearing only lasted 5 minutes. The judge said the conservatorship wasn't needed or required or wanted. Amanda's mom, Lynn, had been the conservator. She didn't object to ending it. The family said they were happy that it was over. The star, of course, had run into some serious problems in the 2010s, but it seems, though, that she has turned her life around.
Amanda Bynes is free. The conservatorship has been terminated, but the weird thing is that it was so fast. I don't even think we were in there for 5 minutes. Amanda's attorney did not have any comments. 2 different members from the All That cast are here to show their support. Amanda was not in the hearing, but today I wanted to get a little bit of a deeper dive into her conservatorship.
Conservatorships became a big issue after the uproar over how Britney Spears was being treated. Now another high-profile conservatorship has been terminated after 9 years. Former child star Amanda Bynes petitioned to dissolve her agreement in late February with her parents' full support. Ms. Bynes is 35 now, and that conservatorship began back in 2013. She called it a dark period in her life.
We're going to get into a couple more of these. Like in September of 2012, Amanda actually came out and said, I do not need a conservatorship. We have a TMZ article that's using a horribly unflattering picture of Amanda, as they normally do. TMZ is definitely connected to the Viacom MTV cluster of associates or whatever. So this is an exclusive TMZ article from 2012, September. Amanda insists she is not having a Britney Spears type meltdown, telling friends she does not need a conservatorship because she is perfectly capable of making her own life choices. She is adamant she has no substance abuse problems, and she dismisses the pending criminal hit and run charges and the DUI cases, claiming the charges are all bogus. We have seen Bam Margera set up in exactly the same way.
I was set up and sabotaged. I got 2 of the VIP joining suites at the top. I was gonna see my wife and kid, who I haven't seen in a half of a year, to hug the shit out of them. Then a minute goes by and the police are knocking on the door. They handcuff me and take me back to a rehab.
We have seen Britney set up in exactly the same way. And everybody is out here trying to tell me that for some reason Amanda Bynes is different somehow. I don't believe you. I'm not buying it. Sell it to somebody else up the street, because I'm not buying it. I'm keeping my money in my damn pocket on that theory, baby. I don't believe for 1 second that Amanda Bynes is any different than Britney Spears or Bam Margera, in the sense that they don't need a conservatorship. MTV, Sony, Viacom, whoever else, Lou Taylor, all the rest of them had financial interests in controlling these people's bodies and brand. Now, come to the future, Britney and Amanda are no longer in conservatorships. So what was really going on? They didn't need that. They didn't need it at the time, and they don't need it now. They target people whose families are desperate. Remember the Dan Schneider video? What type of parent would drop their kid off to a pool party at a grown man's house? Desperate people. Or stupid people. No offense if you're one of them, you're stupid. Now listen, again, if people are committing crimes, that's what the criminal justice system is for. If Amanda was in fact driving under the influence, that is a crime. She shouldn't be committing crimes. I don't excuse crimes. It doesn't seem like Amanda needed conservatorship. It seems like at the most she needed to go to jail for committing some of these crimes. Maybe she needs to go to rehab on her own will, on her own autonomy, not being forced into a 5150 holding into a conservatorship. That is what happened. As we first reported, Amanda's neighbors and fellow gym goers have become increasingly alarmed. Okay, here's that alarmed word again. If y'all seen my recent live with Long Island Audit, this is the new way they're trying to control people. You're alarming others. Well, that ain't damn illegal. If you're so easily alarmed, stay at your house, Rebecca. Stay home. Then you won't be alarmed by any of the people out in the street. Claiming Amanda has shown worrisome signs of mental distress, including speaking to inanimate objects. So what? That's not against the law. Hey girl, how you doing, girl? Good. Good, it's nice to see you. Look, do I need a conservatorship? Am I breaking the law? Hey y'all, am I breaking the law right now? Does somebody need to come and take my rights away from me because I'm talking to you too? Lock me up. We just gotta let people do stuff. including talking to inanimate objects. Who cares? Y'all talk to the Lord all the time, and I got news for you on that one. But nobody's putting you in a conservatorship. As for reports Amanda's entering rehab the next couple of days, the actress says no way. There's no reason to check into a treatment facility, and she said she's not on substances. So then you have another article, July 2013. So we know that she was put into a conservatorship in August 2013. So this was a month before she was put into the conservatorship. Amanda's parents say to a judge that she is going to hurt herself bad unless she gets put under a conservatorship. And yet again, another TMZ exclusive. Now, what we did learn from Lindsay Lohan's lawyer, Sean Chapman Hawley, who attempted to help put her into a conservatorship, is that you can buy articles. You can have a relationship with TMZ in order to put the story, the version of the story that you want for your client, into the media. We have a clip of her admitting that in broad daylight around the same year as this. 3 years before TMZ puts the second exclusive out. Amanda Bynes' parents get conservatorship. She brought Cartier for strangers. So the fuck what? I would buy Cartier for strangers if I had money. You know what, Harvey? These children were abused, neglected, abandoned, and all kinds of other things just to make this money. However in the hell they want to spend their money is up to them. Who do you think that you are? Amanda Bynes' parents quietly went to court and got a conservatorship after telling the judge their daughter has spent alarming amounts of money by purchasing jewelry for strangers. I bet you if she was buying y'all stuff, you wouldn't have been mad about it. Lynn Bynes, please. Why are all their names Lynn? Amanda's folks filed legal documents obtained by TMZ in which they say Amanda is a substantial risk to herself and others. They cite her erratic behavior, including her DUI. The documents also reveal that Amanda is blowing through a shocking amount of her savings. Her net worth is currently $5.7 million. Of that, $2.8 is real property, homes. Her parents say Amanda's only income is from her rental property, which is $144,000 last year. Amanda's parents say the gift purchases have been extensive. It sounded like she's going into stores, buying stuff, and just handing it out on the street. So what? I mean, would I do that? Like, honestly, maybe. But so what? So what? She's making $144,000 a year on her rental property, $2.8 million in real property, which is not going anywhere. She has $3 or $4 million in cash, I guess. So if she wants to buy jewelry for someone and give it to them on the street, so what? Don't you buy Gatorade and give it to the homeless person on the street? Isn't that a nice thing to do? It's your money. If you want to buy something and give it to somebody, I don't give a shit. Why does the court have to get involved? Who does the court think they are? We, the people, are being told how to spend our money by our government, and TMZ is supporting it like it's a cute thing to do. I'm not okay with this. The conservatorship takes a back seat to Amanda's involuntary commitment. TMZ broke the story. Her doctors just got a 30-day extension, which allows them to hold her in Pasadena psychiatric facility. But what did Lima Yevremovich tell us? You can put someone in a conservatorship only if they are in holding while you file the papers, either in a jail, court-ordered treatment, court-ordered rehab facility of some sort. That is what happened here. Put them in an involuntary commitment and apply for the conservatorship. Lima told you on Soft White Underbelly how to do it in front of millions of people.
The way that you get somebody that doesn't want to get help into treatment is through something called an LPS conservatorship.
October 10, 2014, the temporary conservatorship is still going on, and Amanda is put in yet another involuntary psychiatric hold. She had just arrived in LA and went directly to a hospital outside of LA where doctors placed her in an involuntary psychiatric hold. Same as Kanye. He was on a world tour. International tour. And it wasn't until he was in driving distance of UCLA Resnick Psychiatric Hospital that he was all of a sudden exhausted and dehydrated and needed to be hospitalized against his will.
They put you, they handcuff you, they drug you, they put you on the bed, and they separate you from everyone you know.
What does this article say? Just arrived in LA and Amanda went directly to a hospital where doctors placed her in an involuntary psychiatric hold. She thought a car service was taking her to the London hotel where her parents and their attorney were going to meet her. In fact, the parents had made arrangements with the car service to take her to a Pasadena hospital instead. Same thing that happened to Bam Margera. This lawyer, Tamar Armanak, was waiting with the doctors at the Pasadena hospital. TMZ says we're told the doctors placed her on a 5150 psychiatric hold where she'll be held for 72 hours. Now remember, this is already after she's in a conservatorship for a year. She needs another hold? Well, if y'all weren't able to figure it out in that year how she doesn't need a hold, then maybe you're not the people who need to be in charge of her life. then returned from the mental institution and immediately took to Twitter, saying, quote, "I'm going to court today with my lawyer to prove that I am more than capable of handling my personal life and finances, and I am enraged. I got released from the hospital that Sam Lutfi and my parents arranged to send me to because my dad is humiliated by what he has done." Amanda said that on Twitter on the Friday morning. She went on to say, "The police filed a report against my dad. I am not able to be in the same room with him. He is a sexual predator and he should be in jail." In other messages, Amanda repeated that she's capable of taking care of herself, and she accused her parents of wanting to take her money. Whew. Well, I did not know all that stuff about Sam Lutfi, Courtney Love, Amanda Bynes, him being accused of putting Amanda, tricking her. I did not know any of that stuff, but I do know that Sam Lutfi has told people before, Brittany and Amanda's conservatorships are very different. Brittany didn't need it, but Amanda, don't go meddling around in that one because that's a different story. Now, seeing these allegations, Sam, you know, let me know what the deal is with this. I see that you have written your side of the story, which I tried to tell, but it's on the Wayback Machine. So if there's updates to this story, Sam, let us know, and maybe we'll be able to update it. Until then, I'm just glad Amanda's free. It seems like it was a lot of people who thought they knew better than Amanda what she needed. And that's just the pattern that we keep seeing. Bunch of people, even well-meaning people, who think they know better than the person in the situation, than the person whose rights, bodily autonomy, and freedom is implicated. You never know better for someone else what they need, no matter what your intentions are. You should never trick someone into forcing them into help. It's ethically and morally abhorrent. And I don't think that it is in harmony with how we're supposed to be treating each other on this planet.
It's Brittany, bitch.
Take a look at the stack of articles in front of you.
Yes, it's a stack of hit pieces.
Yes, the first one is called
by Ms. Heard's publicity team.
The first one is entitled, is from The Guardian. Do you see that?
Apparently drunk.
Apparently drunk Johnny Depp cut off at Hollywood Film Awards ceremony, correct?
That's what it says, yes, sir.
In the next article, Johnny Depp reportedly drank heavily and was constantly late on the new Pirates movie set. Did I read that right?
You did, reportedly.
The next article, also from May 10th, 2017.
Mr. Depp. This is a pathetic attempt.
The next document, headline, Johnny Depp allegedly showed up drunk to movie premiere, reports say. Did I read that correctly?
Reports say. This is hearsay.
The last one, vodka for breakfast, 72-hour drug binges, and spending sprees that beggar belief. Alison Boshoff reveals why Hollywood's reeling over what's being called Johnny Depp's career suicide note.
Who's Alison Boshoff and how does she know?
What you do have, Miss Heard, are pictures of Mr. Depp sleeping, though, right? The jury saw a lot of those.
Yes.
Okay. You took this photograph, right, Miss Heard?
That's correct.
And you testified that this was taken in Tokyo in July of 2013, correct?
Yes.
So you decided to take a picture of Mr. Depp asleep on the floor?
He was passed out.
That's a
and
yes.
I took a picture of him because he wouldn't remember. He claimed he didn't pass out that way. And sometimes security would carry him like a baby into bed, get him changed, and he would be none the wiser. So I started taking pictures of it so that he knew that it was real, that it had gotten this bad.
Let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1091, which is already in evidence. You took this picture as well.
Yes.
And this is a picture that was taken in the Bahamas, right?
It's one of them, yes.
And this is a picture of Mr. Depp taking a nap on his tropical island?
I believe he was on the nod, but as he would say.
Sleeping on the nod on his island?
They're very different, in my opinion. And
Okay.
yes, he is on the island.
On vacation?
We were on vacation, yes.
Let's also take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1092, which is also in evidence. You also took this picture, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct. I did.
And this is another picture of Mr. Depp asleep in a chair.
No, he was nodding off. Sleep is different. When you're nodding off, you're high on drugs, didn't even feel the cigarette in his hand that had, been burning on his leg. It was cause for alarm for me, naturally, because I cared about him.
It's your testimony under oath that Mr. Depp is holding a cigarette in this picture?
He had been.
You seem to really like taking pictures of Mr. Depp while he's sleeping, don't you?
I hated it. I hated it.
Let's look at Defendant's Exhibit 1094, which is also in evidence. You took this picture of Mr. Depp as well, didn't you?
I did.
You decided to take a picture of Mr. Depp asleep with ice cream spilled all over him, right?
He was nodding off, and I was worried about how bad the medications and the medication change and the drug use had gotten, where he wouldn't even feel ice cream or a lit cigarette on him, and it scared me.
So you took a picture of it?
Yes, I wanted him to get help.
And you sent this picture to your friend, Rocky Pennington, as well, didn't you?
I sure did.
And you were never able to catch Mr. Depp with cocaine on film either, were you?
I never tried.
But you were able to catch him sleeping, right?
I have seen him pass out in all sorts of places, yes.
And you also captured a video of Mr. Depp in the kitchen that was played again for this jury today, beating up some cabinets. Do you recall that?
Yes. Slamming things around, yes.
So you took that video of Mr. Depp in the kitchen, right?
I did. I did.
And you took it on one of your iPad devices?
I took it on my iPad.
And you will recall that the video of Mr. Depp in the kitchen was released online the day before your deposition in August of 2016, don't you?
That's correct.
You're the one who released that video.
Incorrect.
Isn't that true?
It certainly looks like she had a completely different plan for all of these photos and all this stuff that was being printed about him before he walked out on her birthday.
I don't love you that much. No, I don't. I do not love you that much. Deal with myself? No. Do not. I will not deal with myself. And you want me to fucking be some kind of cursed goddamn parrot or a fucking weird frenzied dog? No, I won't be it. No?
Frenzied dog? I'm trying to talk to
or your goddamn fucking lover, Tasia Fantasia. I'm not gonna be that shit, man.
Stop.
No, I don't want to be with you. These are the fucking rules. Fuck that.
You're making this whole thing.
Oh, look it up.
No one's fighting you.
I'm making this up. That, above all else, is an insult.
Mr. Depp, what are you and Ms. Heard discussing in this recording?
It is another argument that is apparently not an argument to her. The screeching of her voice, the demand that things go her way and only her way. I was done, and I think I stated clearly, I don't want to be with you.
So now we can see why she was so desperate to keep the marriage together, because she didn't want a divorce. She wanted to get him help. Just like Mummy and Daddy Spears wanted to get Britney help, and just like Amanda Bynes' parents wanted to get her help. Just like the Kardashians only wanted to get Kanye help. But Johnny threw a spanner in the works and said he wanted a divorce, and so she had to switch to Plan B.